Hey everyone, it's Holly. I'm back to do a second video. So after my video that I uploaded this morning, I filmed it yesterday, my 10-year-old watched it and he gave me a few tips. One, he said, Mom, you've got to tell everyone to like your videos and subscribe to your channel at the beginning. So if you like what I'm putting out here, then please like the video and please subscribe as a request of my child. And then he also said, Mom, your hair, you would never go anywhere with your hair like that. And I was like, you're right. I wouldn't. So I did my hair first today. I tried to explain to him that I usually keep my hair back when doing my makeup. So that's why it was kind of up like that, but he didn't care. So anyway, moving on. Today I'm going to do a video that is about face makeup application. I don't have any face makeup on yet. And it's so funny because this is the first time I've ever done my eyes first. And it felt so foreign to me. And then I'm like, how am I going to get my concealer on, my foundation on, all of that without messing up what I have going on the eye? So you all are going to kind of be going through that with me for the first time. So I'm sure it's the first of many. But anyway, thank you to, I think 40 some odd of you watched my video I already uploaded. And maybe this one will be a little more helpful or informative than the one yesterday because I'm actually going to be applying some makeup. Anyway, thank you for watching it. And if you can subscribe and like it, Evan and I would really appreciate it. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is talk about my favorite products to use on my face right now. I have used all of these multiple times. So none of these are first impressions. They're tried and true. They've proven themselves to me. So, you know, I can really attest to the fact that they're good products. The first thing that I do always whenever I'm applying my makeup is I apply a primer. And you'll see throughout this video that I use some high-end products, some drugstore products. So it's not all going to be high-end and more pricey things, but some things I've found really are worth the money. And this is one of them. I have like a graveyard of primers from the drugstore and high-end. Most of them half used because I tried them some more, and they just really didn't work out for me. Sorry, I have a hair somewhere stuck here. Anyway, but this is one that has really, really worked out for me so well, and I will spend the money on it again. It's by Benefit, the POREfessional. This is not like a newly released product or anything. It's been around for a couple years at least. But pores, large pores are kind of a problem for me. And I found, see, I have to be careful not to get this in my eyebrows. But anyway, I found that this is very much a blurring primer, and it fills in your pores, shrinks the size of them, or at least the appearance of them. And it's really, really smoothing. I mean, it is so, so smooth. I usually use maybe like a dime-sized amount, maybe a little bit more if I need some more. But this will make your face feel just so, so smooth. And it's not wet after you rub it in at all. So it's not going to make your face appear oilier. If you have dry skin, this might not work for you. But I've been using it in a drier climate in Colorado, and it hasn't dried my face out at all, even though I do tend to be oily, especially in the T-zone. So now that we have all of that applied, some of them I've used Urban Decay Optical Illusion that was supposed to really be kind of a blurring primer. They've just been terrible. I paid like $50 for that, and I used the whole bottle just on principle, but I hated it. So I'm going to tuck my hair back here and see if I can do this. I also spray a prep and priming spray on it since this does dry down really dry. This kind of just puts a little moisture in it. This is the MAC Prep and Prime Fix Plus. This is also a high-end product, but I searched for these size bottles on the sale racks or whatever at Ulta or Sephora. It runs about $15 for a bottle this size, and it lasts a while. You can also use this for helping your eyeshadow become more pigmented, so I like to keep it around for that. it does not smell good at all to me. Some people may love the smell of it. I hate it. Okay, so next I'm going to get into foundation. I've also tried a lot of high-end foundations. I like more of a full coverage. You may not, so this may not be the foundation for you, but this is extremely affordable, and it's medium to full coverage. It says on it, medium to full coverage, lightweight, oil-free formula, long-wearing, water-resistant, and sweat-proof. I've put this to the test, and it is all of the above. I can really and truly say that without a doubt. This is the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 Foundation and Concealer. I'm in the shade Warm Beige. On the video, it's going to look a little more orange than it does in person, just because this lighting is not completely white lighting, and it's the evening, so I'm losing some of the natural light that I have in here. I'm almost out of this, so I had to take a little bit off the wand from the inside. But it has a pump. Milani is sold in Walmart, I know in Kentucky, but here in Colorado it isn't. But we have it at our version of Kroger. It's owned by Kroger, even called King Super. So if you're in Colorado, you can find it there. I haven't seen it at any of the drugstores like Walgreens or CVS, but maybe in your area they will have it. Okay, so I apply all my makeup, and you can see this is very well used, even though I clean it often, with a dampened beauty sponge. This is not the Beauty Blender. That's $20, and I'm not paying that much for a sponge. This is an off-brand. I think this might be Eco Tools, but I just pat the product from the inside of my face, working my way out. I do get it to the hairline, but I don't, push too much into the hairline. But I start from the middle and work my way out, because I don't want it to be caked on the hairline, and I also don't want to have just a ring of foundation and then like a white space here between my hair and my face. So I make sure to pull it all the way out, and I just blend it. The Real Techniques, they have a really nice sponge that's a really good dupe for the Beauty Blender, and it's got like more of a wedge style where it's cut off at the tip. I like that a lot. It doesn't have a flat bottom though. It's got a pointy tip at the bottom. So I do really enjoy that one. I think I got it on sale for like $2.50. So that's a good one to get, since I'm not really sure of the brand of this one. But I just pat the foundation all over my face using the sponge. And I make sure to go down into my neck, because one thing, you do not want to have a ring around the bottom of your face at your neck either. I also do this because I have like a problem area on my neck where I get some acne. It's weird. I don't get acne on my face really, but I will get it all down my neck. So I always pull that down to the neck for that purpose as well. But even if you don't have a problem area on your neck, you should still pull your foundation down and blend it into your neck. All right, so I'm going to blend the rest of my face off camera in order to save time, and I will be right back. Okay, so I blended that foundation out all over my face, as you can see. The next thing that I'm going to do is concealer. But as I was just applying that, I was sitting there thinking, wow, I have totally changed so much in the way that I do my makeup in the last year or so. Because I think even as recent as a year ago, I was using the CoverGirl concealer stick that comes in it looks like a little lipstick tube. All over my face is foundation and doing nothing else. No blush, no bronzer, no anything. So, yeah, this has certainly changed a lot. The concealer that I'm using is not my favorite concealer. We're going back to high-end because I really like the formulas of more of the high-end concealers. I feel like they have more staying power and more coverage. But this is a close second. This is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. My favorite is the Tarte Shape Tape, but when I went to repurchase it right after the holidays, they were completely sold out of any lighter colors. They only had more of the deeper shades. Now, something to remember for concealer is that you want it to be lighter than your foundation, a decent amount, because yes, I used to just spot conceal over my face and not really use concealer as a highlighting product. And once I learned a little bit more, I learned that it is supposed to be used to kind of illuminate areas in your face, not just to cover up blemishes or dark spots or whatever, though it can be used for that as well. But anywhere that you want to kind of be brightened up is where you want to put the concealer. That's why you want it to be significantly lighter than your foundation. So this shade works out pretty well for me. And I put it under the eyes. See, this is where I'm like, doing your eye makeup first doesn't make sense to me. But like I said, I did that just for the sake of this video today. I go pretty liberally with it under the eyes. And in order to highlight, you're going to want to kind of do an upside down triangle shape. That's just kind of the areas that you want to highlight the most when using concealer for a highlighter. I just go all the way up to like next to my eye. Kind of down into a point. Then I do a strip straight down the middle of my nose. Pull it up a line into my forehead. And then I just kind of do a couple little lines over the brows. I need to put a little more on here. I also use it on my cupid's bow area. And then I do kind of just a stripe along the bottom of my chin. And then whatever's kind of left on the wand, I'll pull down into my neck and kind of cover the problem areas also so it all blends in. I just take that same exact beauty sponge. I used to use all brushes on my face, but I really love using the sponge. I feel like it blends out the best. And I just blend it out in the patting motion, kind of pushing that product into the pores. You want to make sure to get this inner area of your eye also because it can tend to get dark or pick up more shadows and things. So you want to be sure you get there. And I just pat it in. And it's okay if it doesn't 100% match and blend into your foundation, because you're using it to illuminate that area. And once we use some blush and bronzer, then it's all going to blend in really nicely, and you're not going to really be able to see the difference. So I'm going to blend the rest of this off camera to save time, and I will be right back once I'm done. Okay, so I have the concealer all blended in now, and all I was going to say about that NARS concealer is it's nice, but I like the Tarte Shape Tape better, and I feel like you get some more product and it's a little less expensive. The NARS is $30 for one tube, and the Tarte Shape Tape I think runs around $24, and it'll last me about 2.5 to 3 months. So that's not that much to spend if you're only buying it that often. So, but I do like it a lot better, and I'm thinking of even returning this NARS concealer. And that's one thing that you should know, is that whether you're at the drugstore or at a higher end makeup store like Ulta or Sephora, you can return products that don't work for you. So don't feel like because you spend a ton of money on a product and you use it and that you have to be forced to like it. If you don't like it, take it back. They will take it back, pretty much no questions asked. So I highly recommend that. Now this next product I absolutely love. This is the Coty Airspun Loose Face Powder. This is in translucent extra coverage. Now you really need to use a powder in the areas that you use the concealer or anywhere that you tend to get oily. Using a translucent powder is good, because if you use a dark powder, especially like under your eyes, you're going to darken those back up to where it's going to match your face and you don't get any illumination at all from it. I use a technique that's called caking and baking. And what I do is I really cake the powder on. As you can see, that's a decent amount. And then I let it sit and bake for a few minutes. Now, this is, under the eyes, is dual purpose. One reason is it helps to illuminate your eyes. The second reason is if you're like me and you do your eye makeup after you do most of your face makeup, this will catch any fallout from any darker shadows or shimmer shadows that come down off your eye as you're applying it with the brush. And you can just sweep it away once you're done with your eye makeup, and it's as if it was never there. But So that's why I'm able to do my eye makeup after my face makeup without really making a huge mess. So I just kind of cake this on in my smile line. So any place that you tend to get oily, you show a lot of creasing in your makeup, or any place that you really want to illuminate. I get oily in my T-zone, so you can see that I've really kind of packed it on here. And then I like to kind of illuminate that area on my jawline. So I just do a swipe there as well. We're gonna leave this to sit for a few minutes. Normally I would be doing my eye makeup during this time, but since I'm not, I'm just going to go off camera for a few minutes, and then I'll come back, we'll whisk this away, and we'll get on with the rest of the face, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. One more thing I wanted to say about this Coty Airspun powder is that it's sold at Walmart. It's around $7 or $8 for a very large canister of it. Like, this is your normal size compact, and this is the Airspun. So they're definitely, it's definitely a lot of product. I've had this for probably 2 months, and I'm only about a third of the way finished with it. So it will really last a long time. $7 or $8. You can find it in the nails aisle at Walmart, or you can order it online. I know that. I'm trying to find my brush that I use to whisk powder away, and I can't find it. Oh, here it is. Okay, so I just take a brush that's semi-fluffy. I got this in a Wet n Wild gift set. There were 10 brushes for $15 just before Christmas. They sold out really fast. I just happened upon it when I was at Walgreens one day. But I just take this and I kind of whisk the powder away. So if I would have eyeshadow fall out down here, I would be whisking that away too. And then in kind of circular motions, I blend it along the rest of my face. And I pull it down into my neck, whatever's kind of left over on the brush. And as it's winter time, this is really all the powdering I'm going to do on my face, because I don't tend to get nearly as oily in the winter. But in the summer, I'll use an all-over loose powder that's a little bit darker. But I just don't want to overdo it on the powders and then look really cakey on my makeup. All right, so we've got all that blended in now, and we're going to bronze next. I don't really contour, but I do use my bronzer as like a contour. So I kind of contouring and bronzing in one. So the last one was a drugstore product, the loose powder. This one is a more high-end product. I bought this a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago probably, and I've been using it a lot, and I really, really like it. This is the Benefit Hoola bronzer. I think they only have like a regular bronzer and then a bronzer light. So if you're a little more fair, then you'll need the lighter one. It comes with this little brush. I normally do not ever use brushes that come with products, but this one is kind of cool because of the shape of it, to use to get that nice lined contour. So I like it a lot. And I just dip into a little bit, very light-handed, tap off the excess product into the container. And then in order to get your contour where it needs to be, or your bronzing area where it needs to be, you make kind of like the fishy face. So you can see where the hollows of your cheeks are. And you want to go in a line straight from the center of your ear right to where it stops like indenting when you make the fishy face. So I still make the fishy face every time I do it. And you want to go more straight in instead of down with this, because if you drag it down, it's going to pull your whole face down, and it can age you a lot or make your face look saggy. So you want to just kind of go straight in. Okay, so I typically leave those to sit there for just a minute, and then I do my nose. And I just do a strip down each side of my nose. Again, I just dabbed the brush in the product, tapped it off. And I do a strip down each side of my nose. And you want to go all the way up to where it meets your eyebrow, but not as intense up there. And then I go just kind of a strip straight across the tip of your nose, because it can make it look where it's like it's not as long. And I have a long nose. Okay. And then I'm going to leave that sit there for just a second. And I'm going to do my temples and forehead. And I usually just do a little swipe downward without dipping into any more product, and then pulling it straight across. And then with the wider portion of the brush, like with the brush where it's wide instead of lengthways on my face, I just do kind of like little circular blending motions up and down. And then sometimes if I seem like I've got a little extra in a place, then I'll just go in with that brush that I used on the powder and kind of go over it to blend it out a little more. And then I'm going to take this brush, I'm not using any additional product, and I'm going to blend out the sides of my nose. As I'm losing that natural light, everything is showing up much more orange, but it doesn't look orange in person. If I feel like I've gotten a little extra on there, again, I just take this brush and kind of buff it out. See, from the side, you can see it doesn't look like a lot. It just is picking up that light. It's really not a ton of it on there. Okay, now to blend out the contour. At first, I go back and forth with the brush widthways. Then I turn it to where it's up and down and go back and forth. And then I will turn it back to where it's flat again and just go in circular motions. Careful to focus more on the top than the bottom, because you don't want to drag it down anymore, but you want to blend it out. Two kind of common mistakes that I see with this, which left me very much in fear of ever doing this myself, is people having kind of like a square, or where it gets like really muddy looking on the face, and you don't want that. But by blending and blending up, you can avoid both of those problems. So again, I'm going this way first. Then I flip it and go widthways, back and forth. And then I'm going to flip it back again and go in the circular motions. I have a hard time doing that with my left hand. Focusing more on the top than the bottom. Okay, so that looks like it's pretty blended out, but you still have the emphasis on it. So, you know, it's blended, but it's still there in a line. But I really enjoy this product. I don't know if I'll repurchase yet. I haven't had it but a couple weeks. I'll decide once I see how long it takes me to get through it. Because it was $30, and that's kind of high for what I would want to spend on a bronzer. But I looked at the drugstore for bronzers, and most of them had that shimmer to it, and I don't like a shimmer in a bronzer because I don't want to look oily or shiny more so than I have to. So I didn't need that extra shimmer. And that Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer is kind of all the rage on YouTube, but it has a shimmer to it. And I'm not really into that. I'm also not into a shimmer on my blushes. The blush I'm using today is the Milani Tea Rose Powder Blush. Now it's weird because I have another Milani one. Let me see if I can just find it at a quick glance. Here it is. Okay, I have another Milani one. The only real difference in the packaging is that the Milani logo on this one is smaller. On the newer one, it's bigger. But the old one, it had like a shimmer sheen to it. And I didn't like that. I don't want my whole face to glow. I just want to glow in the areas where I want to. So I can't really, those are two different colors, but I can't really see the difference as far as what it says on the packaging. So that's kind of a crapshoot, and I don't like that. But for now, this one will last me for a while, and I'm going to continue to use it. It's just a very soft color, and I just swirl it into the blush, and then I tap my brush off. This is a big fluffy brush. It also came in that set. And I smile, and I start about right here, and then I swirl it out just above where we bronzed. So it's kind of subtle, but it's there. If you were in person, you'd be able to see it more, because when I look in my mirror, I can see it a lot more than I can on camera. But it's important to pull up. And with both the bronzer and the blush, you don't want to go more than about 2 fingers away from the outside of your nose and the outer corner of your lip. You don't want to go in any closer than about 2 fingers widths. So you can see that I did not, because that can also drag your face down and make your face look fuller. So that's just a little tip I learned also. Now for a highlighter. Like I said, I don't really like for my face to glow all that much, but a little highlighter in the right areas can do some good. I've not tried a ton of highlighting products. My sister gave me this one, and it is from Mana Kadar Beauty Bronzer Highlighter. It's like a duo. You can see I have hit pan on this, so I'm going to have to be looking for another one soon. But in the meantime, this came in that Wet n Wild brush set. I just use a fluffy brush, and I kind of pinch it to make the fan shape, just because this is a very small pan. And I rub it back and forth in the pan. And then I just focus on top of where I put my blush, right on my cheekbone, back and forth, and then go up, just right there. And that's it. And you can see it, but it's not like overwhelming. Plus, I'm not trying to be overwhelming. I'm getting ready to go teach my preschool class at church. Like, I don't want to look like I'm ready to go, you know, out clubbing or walking on the runway. So I just very faintly do it there. I faintly do a little bit on the top of the tip of my nose and in the Cupid's bow area. And that's it. I am not trying to be seen from outer space like some people like doing. I even got a little much on there. So that's the main part of the face. I'm going to go ahead and do a lip really quick, and setting spray. The setting spray is high-end, but I really, really, really like it. This is the Urban Decay All Nighter. I got this size, which is not super tiny, for $15 at the at Sephora on the sale racks in the front. I do about 5 sprays. I focus like 2 sprays kind of in my more oily zone where my makeup will break down from the oils, like around my nose and right around here and under my nose. It breaks down always, and I end up with a little bit of redness. So I like to do, okay, that was way more than 5 sprays. I lied. And then I'm also going to do a lip. I'm going to use one of those Wet n Wild lippies that I talked about yesterday. I'm going in with the shade Gone Burgundy as a lip liner. Okay, and I'm going to say this. I don't overline my lips. For print, like photography and things, that can really work. But in person, if you overline your lips, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to offend you at all. But in person, everybody knows you're doing it. So, but you know, when people see me in person, everybody knows that I'm wearing false lashes, most likely. And everybody knows that, you know, this is not how my face naturally looks. But that's one of the most obvious things to me that I can see people doing, not working with what they've got, kind of. So I don't overline my lips. If that's your thing, do it. Do you, girl. It's not my thing, but it might be yours. So I hope I didn't offend anyone by saying that, but that's just how I feel about it. But like I said, if you like doing it, go ahead, do it. All right, I'm going to line the rest of my lips off camera, and I will be right back. Okay, so the lips are lined pretty sloppily, and then I'm going in with this Rebel Rose liquid lip that I really enjoy from the Wet n Wild collection. It's lighter than this liner, but I wanted to darken up the lip a little bit. So I just kind of run the wand and like kind of smudge it into the liner so they blend. And I still haven't dipped in for more product, so that says a lot. Okay. So that's enough for our first coat. I might put a second coat on before I go to church. So I'm going to just finish up kind of touching up my eyes a little bit where some concealer got on my bottom lashes, put an inner corner highlight on, and I'm going to come right back to kind of show you the completed look, okay? Okay, so this is the completed look. I kind of wanted to pick the phone up so you could see that things are kind of more blended than they might look from a distance. But this is my face makeup routine. This is my daily routine. It's pretty much what I always do anytime I'm getting ready to go out somewhere at all. It doesn't take as long as it took in this video because I was taking the time to talk and kind of explain things. But I really, really enjoy the products that I'm currently using. If you have some favorite products that are different from what I'm using that you would suggest, please just leave a comment and let me know, because I'm always out to try new things, especially drugstore things that aren't really much of an investment. And if you have any questions or any suggestions of things that you would like me to do videos about, then just leave them in the comments. Please like and subscribe to my channel so that way you can be notified whenever I upload new videos. And I'm off to church to hang out with some 3- and 4-year-olds. I love my little class. I hope the rest of your weekend is great, and I will be doing the eyeshadow kind of tutorial video on another day. Maybe tomorrow, maybe not till mid next week, okay? Thanks so much for watching. God bless, and take care until the next time I see you.